So I'm going to show you my attempt at conductometric titrations. It's going to look a little bit different to your textbook. So the first one here, I'm adding HCl to NOH. So I have a couple of controls. I'm putting universal indicator in there to make sure it's okay. And that's just off the shelf, so I just got to trust it hasn't gone off. It's not the stock solution, and the first one I had was red. So there's a lot of errors in this, and the second bottle of HCl was not HCl, it was a base. So I've just grabbed chemicals that haven't been standardized, that were just student chemicals off the bench, not stock chemicals, and they haven't been standardized. So the numbers are way out. This one's ended up being looking like I used 10 instead of 1, or 1 instead of 0.1, or whatever. And so there I'm adding just 1 mil with a microtiter pipette just for speed, because I want it to titrate quickly, but it ends up taking 10 mils and not 1 mil of HCl. So I don't trust the chemical concentrations. Now you're going to see this looks a little bit different because I started with 250 mils in order to cover all the probes. So I'm not using, it doesn't look like what your textbook would look like because it's all pretty much the same concentration, and then it jumps up. So there's not a huge number of ions to start with to disappear. It's quite dilute. All right, now at some stage I've let the drops through now, and so you can see that the top here, the blue line, is liquid being put through, volume increasing. The conductivity, the titration, is that light blue line, and the middle green is my control. It's a pH curve, so that's the pH meter. So I can see that things are working, which they are. So it worked when it was meant to. It started to drop down, and soon it'll drop down really fast. That's the control, and hopefully that will be matched by the current, the ammeter. And then we should get, that should tell us that it works. Now, the other thing I wasn't willing to give up on I don't want to write down all these numbers and do all these calculations. I want the computer to do it all for me. So I'm not using a burette. I'm using the drop counter, which is the top graph. And I'm not using a conductivity meter, number one, because we didn't have one that I could find. And I'm not using a multimeter where I have to write things down. So I'm just going to use the current. So if the conductivity increases, the current will go up. And I'm not going to put a whole heap of other monitors in there to test that the voltage stays the same, etc. That's just too much work. And there we go. The pH curve has dropped. Now the universal indicator seems to be off a little. The video is fairly well synced. I don't think it's a video issue. As you can see from the numbers, they're not that far off. I've tried to sync the picture with the video as best I could. And you can see it's smack bang right. So just at the middle of that drop is the equivalence point, and that's exactly when the H plus ions are in excess, and there's a huge increase in the conductivity, in the current. And so that one has worked quite well. And so that's just highlighting that the middle of that drop matches exactly with the start of the increase of the H plus. So very good for that. Calculations work out perfectly, out by a factor of 10. I strongly suspect the 1 molar was mixed up with the 0.1 molar in labeling. And so that should be good to follow through on. Now I'll just go to the next one and explain a little bit more the setup. The next one works quite well as well, and I'll just tell you now that the only ones that really worked were the hydrogen ions, because I think all the rest are not significantly different in their conductivity to show good results. And towards the end I could have reversed it. Reversing it might have made it work, where I had an excess of OH minus. And so this one I'm again adding HCl to a weak base, and because in the end I'm going to have an excess of H plus, it increases quite well. So this one works as well, quite well. And so I'm just waiting for it to stabilize before I let the drop counter go, and so the titration starts. And so as you can see, I don't need to do anything. The computer does it all for me. So I'm not willing to do a burette titration. I'm using the drop counter. And so I did try and use a voltmeter using the AC, but the Pasco current probe wasn't happy with that, and I'm not going to give up on that, so I went to a battery, so a 6-volt battery. And as you could see previously, I can't see any significant ions created with electrolysis. The balanced equation is just water turning to oxygen and hydrogen, so there is no net increase in ions theoretically. I could see some slight bubbles about forming, but no significant pH changes, although it's mixing quite rapidly, so it would be difficult to see that anyway. This one's quite nice. You can see that there's been that little tiny dip in the pH, and that's because right now what you're seeing is the buffer. It's just because I've pressed maximize graph that it's quite steep. It'll even out. But that very first little dip is it becoming a buffer, and that current blue line now is the buffer. And then it'll drop even more when the pH, when it's neutralized, and then it'll level out, and the conductivity should drop halfway through the next little drop. So right now it's just the buffer region. I'll just have to give it a little bit of time, and hopefully it'll do a fast drop, and the current will jump up. So it looks like that's a bit of a drop. Yeah, they're definitely a little bit steeper drops. I'll just wait for it, I'm afraid. I'll speed the next two up. The next two don't work that well because I was not adding NOH. You need to add the strong ions, the strong conductant H plus and the OH minuses to the solution to get the excess for this to work well. Yeah, it doesn't work very well when you add the weak acids or weak bases to things. Just looking for a little bit of a steep drop. Weak acids and weak bases were terrible. It's next. And this one still works fine. Now, there we go. There's a little bit of a drop. That's a faster drop. Okay, now it's getting neutralized. And now, bang, you can see the conductivity did a big drop as well. And so now the conductivity is starting to level off now. And then the conductivity just, I should say current, is a measure of the conductivity, and there we go. So now it's just doing these constant dips, and so the current has started to jump up exactly where that little dip is, the equivalence point of the pH. So you can see why I've used the pH meter as a control to check that this conductometric reactions do work. Okay, so I think I can stop it there. Now that's leveled off. So that's like a perfect pH curve, perfect conductometric. It jumped up due to the excess hydrogen ions just when it was just at the point where it was neutralized. So those two worked really well. Adding excess hydrogen ions once it's neutralized works really well. I think the other two could have worked as well if I added the strong base in the drop counter, but I didn't. I added, for convenience and speed, I put the weak base at the top, which is fine. It shows you that don't do that. Okay, so that does not work. So I'm not going to spend too long on this one, just to say weak acids and weak bases never work anyway. I'll skip along. You can see the titration curve's terrible. And adding excess of these weak ions, they're just not very differentiatable. So there was never a chance for that to work, really. You can't really see any real difference in conductivity, and it's really difficult to see any drop, a significant drop between the weak acid and weak base to see where the equivalence point is. So moving on to the last one. So the last one is got a better chance of working. This probably would work if I reversed it, but at the moment it doesn't seem like the conductivity of the hydroxide ions is significant enough. So basically I'm just waiting for it to equalize. I add 1 mil of, what am I adding, of sodium hydroxide, and then I'll start to let the acetate ions, the ethanoic acid, the weak acid, out once I'm happy that the pH has stabilized and is correct, which is very soon. And then I sort of was hoping that the sodium hydroxide ions were getting consumed, or the hydroxide ions, and that was a significant difference compared to all the other ions being added, for it to decrease in current and go up, but it didn't. And so it's just not, the H plus is like almost 400, which is almost, it's almost double OH, and everything else is a lot similar. So I think the OH might have worked if we reversed it. So I'm just going to speed along there and just go to the end. And you can see it's very hard to see any difference in the current difference. And it's very hard to see where the drop is. Reverse it, probably will work. Okay, so you could probably do a better job, waste a bit more chemicals and don't start with 250 mils of water and just do 1 mil, and use a conductivity meter. That will all give much more similar results to the textbook. So mine, I wasn't willing to give up on the computer doing all the work for me. So I did it this way and got the graphs that look like this.